I think the hardest part of just like having having a loss in your family or anything like that is, especially if they've actually been in your life, but it wasn't like every day. Like not like parents or anything like that, or siblings. Well, like in my case, I just had like a experienced loss from family members, or just even relatives or friends, or like siblings of friends. So it's like it's not exactly that close to me, but for some reason it kind of just gets in the back of my head sometimes. Like the fact that, oh yeah, no, I've met this person before. I've met them before, and now I'm looking at them, and they look different. Like I know they're just supposed to be sleeping, quote unquote, but they're just not there anymore. Like I think the first time I've ever experienced anyone die or pass away, I don't know, in front of me was uh a fam what was it? Oh yeah, it was a shit. Uh it was a it was a sibling of my dad. It was my aunt basically on my dad's side. And and it happened when I was a kid, I think 2014. So it was like, how old was I to date myself? I was just young. I'll just say I was just young. I don't know I don't know how old, but yeah, just young basically. And I think at the time I didn't really know what exactly was happening. I knew that that person, which was my aunt, was just dying, is what my I think my parents told me. And I've only met this person, this aunt, like probably like twice, three times, when I was able to think at least. But before that, I think they've only met me when I was a kid. But even then, they were like, I think they were somewhere far away. And I think because of that, in my head, it's just like, oh, I don't know. It's just like the first time I've ever heard anyone that's like close to dying. Like I knew what death, quote unquote, I knew what it was. It's just like, yeah, someone's dying, but I've never really seen it or thought about it ever. And I think that night where we were invited to come because I think she just wanted to see everybody else's, and I don't think they bothered with getting an emergency ambulance because I think she had breast cancer, and I think it was already rampant and like at the final stage is what my guess is because I never really asked about it because I don't know how to really. And uh I think oops I think the by the time that we got there, she could speak, she was very much present, and she was just like, she was just basically, she was obviously like kind of like not feeling very well, which obviously yeah, but it was still kind of surreal, just like because we only met this person when she seemed healthy at least, but then the next time I meet them was when they were on a basically on their deathbed, which was her room and whatnot. I've slept in that room like quite a few times just thinking about it right now. But but basically at that night, I got to say my highs. As a kid, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, hello, hi, and just didn't really think about it. And then I think a few hours come by, a priest comes in. I think yeah, a priest comes in, and was just like, okay, sure. Just didn't really think about it much. I should probably keep that. And now, I think as far as I remember, she was already like actually just about to die. We were called to the room, and all the family members are there praying for her, and she's very much visibly just trying to hold on for a few seconds or for a few hours, I think. And I just like stood there as a kid, just didn't really know what was going on. Like I knew technically by like I knew kind of what was happening, but never really like, oh yeah, I know what's happening, you know? And I think I still remember to this day, like it was kind of just surreal seeing it as a kid, but like it was more surreal now, just remembering it as an adult. Just like getting like seeing someone's like life kind of like go out basically. Just like seeing someone's seeing the life out of someone's eyes and then seeing it go away, which was just like as a kid it didn't really mean much because I was just like, oh, I see. But just like I still remember very detailedly, vividly. I don't know if vividly means that, but just very detailed memory of like having just having this whole just this whole memory of just literally just someone's life, just someone just passing away just in front of me and not being able to do anything about it, which is sure, which is fair anyway. I think just thinking about it to this day, just like the fact even when that person didn't really mean much to me because I just never really got to meet them fully. And I don't even mean it in a bad way. I just genuinely just did not have any memories with them. Like I met them I met them as a kid, but not enough for me to remember, I'd say. Oh Jesus fucking Christ. Scared the shit out of me. And I think if I'm thinking about it, the next time that I were to oh Jesus. What the shit, man? I think the next time that I ever again went to a funeral was my grandfather's from my gulp. Bitch. From my dad's side, basically my dad's grandfather. And I think oh Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, I guess I'm not going there, huh? And like again, I'm like this, but this time, this grandfather was kind of very much there when I was growing up, just by proximity, just excuse me, just kind of grow like I had a lot of photos with my grandfather, but like that was like very young, and I still do remember a lot as from being a kid and like talking to my grandfather and stuff. And again, even then, I would expect to be like, oh, that person would probably mean a lot. And I would probably, in my head, oh, Jesus Christ. There you go. Thank you. And I thought in that scenario where it's like, oh, it's actually someone that I know as a kid, that I would just like that I would actually just like see like almost every year. I think almost at least once a year, probably more sometimes. And that person I like and that my grandfather did I did see often. Like I grew up to my teenage years and still talk to him. And when the time came where he was very much visibly like not doing well, I I thought I was gonna cry too. I thought I was gonna, oh, this time I'm gonna be crying because this person I kind of knew for a while. But then the time did come where like I think we visited one year, and that's when I found out that he was like not doing so good. And just like, just spend some time with him, and also my grandma at the time. Just like, yeah, just visit grandparents basically, and just enjoying the time there with cousins, stuff like that. I think exactly like a week later, my grandfather passed away, and we weren't there for it at all. But we did go for the funeral, and also just being there with the casket for a while before the funeral. Even we were there, I think, the entire week, because it's my dad's dad, so might as well. And I think I don't think I actually did shed a tear, but because of that, I felt really guilty. I just thought to myself, like, what am I doing? Like, it wasn't as harsh as I'm making it sound, of course, because I was a kid. I was probably like probably have much more volatile emotions, or if that's even the right word. Uh, and I think I don't know. I think I don't know if that was the first time I saw my dad cry. Could be the second. Could be the first. Could be like. But I'll say maybe, because I genuinely just do not remember if he did. But I think. But getting to see my other family members kind of just like cry, and just like the realizing that me, teenager, just am not crying. I feel like an asshole, because I'm just like, this person was there. Like, this person had a lot of photos with me. We spent a lot of time together, and basically, he was also helping raise me in a way when I was like in the province that they were in, and just I don't know, uh, like I would expect this time that I was just gonna cry, but I didn't, and I'm like, am I just an ass? Am I just like a psychopath or something? Like, I genuinely did think as a kid that I'm like, am I just a psychopath? Like, do I just not feel emotions or whatever? And now I don't know, of course, but moving on, just it's another time of my life where I genuinely just felt like questioning of myself, just like, what kind of person am I if I'm like not even shedding a tear for these people that did spend a lot of time in my life. And normally, like, it's a tradition where, not a tradition basically, but you're kind of encouraged to kind of look at the casket while they were buried. And so I did for basically every funeral that I've been, and it's like the realization that 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 like you see this person like normally, And suddenly they look different. They always say the same shit where like they keep saying that like, oh yeah, no, the you it's gonna be, we're gonna, they keep telling you that like, oh my god, it's gonna be like the same. They're kind of just, they just look like they're sleeping, but they're not. I could like, even as a kid, I could sense the fact that they were like, they were not there anymore. It just doesn't feel right whenever I was looking at them, but I still did because they just told me that was what you're supposed to do. and and I did so again for that, for my grandparent and my aunt. But I think the next funeral that I've attended that was like in a way related to me was, I think at the time when I was in junior high, probably, or middle school, I don't remember. A friend of mine that I just that I just like shared the same not a bus, but like a service thingy. Basically just another vehicle that takes us to school, but our parents pay them to take us there. Like normal shit. And it's just another person that I was with, and she had like a pretty tragic uh like story for hers, but it was like, it was his it was her like younger sibling, like a baby. It was genuinely just a baby that died. And the story being that like something went wrong with the baby, and they were just, you know they were stuck in traffic and they couldn't get them there because of it. And because of that, it like the baby passed away. And I was encouraged to visit, of course, because I wanted to visit anyway, because that's my friend. And I think that time I thought I was like, oh, I might be heartless. I feel bad for just like not even shedding a tear or anything, or making it like, or seeming like I'm not affected by like seeing someone like just, you know. But this time, the casket was so small that I couldn't even believe it. That I just, I thought couldn't actually just look at it. I just like, and then my friend was even like, no, don't worry. It just looks like the baby's sleeping. It's like even encouraging me. The person that was actually dealing with the trauma, or the just the loss. But I just couldn't bear it, man. Like, just like how, realizing how small that the caskets could be. I think that was the last time I ever looked at someone like that's dead, or that's someone that's passed away ever. I just don't think I can do it. And I didn't even think of it much as a when I was younger. Now I think about it too much. Or just like, where I think there's just way too many ways to like kind of deal with stuff like this, but I don't think it's ever taught, ever. Like, unless it's like a family member, and even then, I couldn't process anything like this when I was younger. And I think the last time that I had a family member die was, which was pretty recent-ish, which happened in COVID, or like 2020, I'd say. I think I just like, we were already not in the country, and we got like a call just randomly. I hear my parents scream, kind of thing, where they heard that, because my grandmother on my dad's side was already like not doing great at the time, and now, excuse me, I just hear a scream, and just like my mom just crying, just telling us that, like, while me and my brother were just like having fun in my room, we were just like playing or like watching a video, and then he just tells us that like crying that like your grandmother has passed away. And just like, just us coming, just like us, just we just didn't know what to say. We just didn't know what to do. We just come out to like, to like my parents, and I see my dad kind of just like, of course, distraught, because that's his mom. Anybody would be, probably, or a lot of people would be. And I think this case actually was just like, this person was now just someone that I actually like, also even way more time spent with, just cuz I don't know, like, oh, water. Oh shit, oh, that's what I hate about this. And sorry, uh and but now it's like someone that I actually did have time spent with, and a person that I personally just kind of like not even just grow with longer, but also just like I was already like a even like more mature teenager. Not, of course, not too mature, but like just more. And it just, with this case, I didn't, even then I was like, I felt bad that I'm not crying right now when I heard about the news, because you know I just expected to be that case, and I just feel like a even more of a piece of shit for just not feeling such, you know. And I think it took us like a lot of like probably 3 years before we could even come back home and visit. And then I can then that's confirmed for me that like that's like the few times I see my father cry, which Jamie just like was surreal. Just it was just not something that I've ever seen before or often. So it was just shocking. Of course, my dad's amazing. My parents are amazing. But I'm kind of just like, I just don't see it happen often. And with that now, it's like, oh, where is it? Oh, it's down there. With that now, it's like, even then I didn't even cry. Like when I was at when we after 3 years or something, that we finally made it to the to the grave, but I guess not. Which I had to think about a lot when I came back here to like where I am, and not really thinking much about it. I think one day I just vented about to my friend where like some like a friend of mine at the time, a friend of mine, thank God not anymore, but I was just venting to them about how I feel about grief in general. And I just like said like I didn't really get it as a kid. It was hard to process as a kid, just like, even especially because it wasn't like someone that's close to me. But like, I like, it was still like kind of horrifying in a way. Just like realizing that I'm like, what am I, like, what am I, like, what am I doing, like, why am I not feeling anything? And then I think that friend at the time kind of just like yeah, and then just like kind of just compared it to like not being able to talk like just saying that they get me, and that that they felt it before with like not being able to talk to a friend anymore who was alive, very much alive. They just didn't really become friends anymore or something. And I just felt so invalidated. And I talked about that again to like a different friend of mine, and because I think with this like actual friends of mine that I talked to, I was told by my aunt that was with my grandmother when she passed away, that that my grandmother was asking them like am I gonna be able to see us again, like me and my siblings, just because they they just were very like, she was very openly just like, yeah, I love my grandkids, kind of thing. And we were one of the few grandkids, I would say. And she was just kept asking my aunt that like if she was ever gonna see us again. And I think when I first told that to like my friend, I didn't even realize, but I just started bawling, and I just that's the first time I've ever cried about anything that had to do with grieving. And I think it made me kind of realize after fucking probably a decade, it's just like I'm not like I wasn't a heartless kid. I just didn't really know how to process those emotions. Like I wasn't discouraged from crying either. It wasn't like a toxic like, oh, you shouldn't cry, you're a boy or whatever. It generally just like I just didn't know what to do as a kid, but now I do. Like as an adult, and I think I really needed to would have wanted to hear myself talk to the younger me, definitely. Just maybe it would have just given me more clearance about how to feel, or like to feel normal even when I feel like I'm being different by just not seeming like I feel anything, if that makes sense. I think I hope well it's gonna happen at some I just oftentimes because of that realization years ago, I keep thinking about like oops. I keep thinking about what I'm gonna be like how I'm gonna be able to handle when my parents pass away, if they do before me, which is a very good chance, of course, obviously, but I think I think I've come to the conclusion that I should just stop worrying about such a thing when it's just inevitable, and just try to actually, you know, live like it's not a deep like realization, of course, but it was still very much like a much improvement for me, just because I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna feel like, probably. But at least now I have a sense of direction of what is normal and what is not in that scenario. I think like actually having the ability to come to terms with that reality was kind of refreshing, or like just like just eases my mind, just because I because I'm still young, and my parents, I hope, aren't really like old enough to be like that, but just like for now I don't have to worry about it, but hopefully I'm prepared for the next times, or hopefully the last times I'm ever gonna have to grieve for anybody.